Hello again, everyone. Todd Michael Putnam from Creative Adventure Tables bringing you another adventure table idea, and this one is the Siege of the Scaled Ones. The Siege of the Scaled Ones. And what's this one all about? Well, the Elven Kingdom over here borders on swamplands over to the western side of the borders, and for the longest time, it hasn't been a big problem. The swamps are in fact dominated by the lizardfolk, and though the lizardfolk are territorial, they have never been aggressive. In other words, they stayed within their swampland areas, and so it hasn't been a problem. And of course, the elves had no real desire to go into the swampland itself. So it was basically a relatively peaceful existence between the two of them, if uneasy, always guarding their borders just in case. Certainly, their values were not aligned. It's just that they didn't have a particular reason to go after one another. However, of late, the lizard folk have been doing incursions into the elven lands and doing raids, just brief raids, sometimes killing people, sometimes stealing stuff, sometimes setting stuff on fire or whatever. Nothing major, but it keeps getting greater and greater. And so the elves are looking for someone to go in and actually check out what's going on. But rather than actually send some of their own elven people, their own elven troops or anything, that would look like an invasion and might provoke an actual war. So instead, they decided to hire adventurers who would go in who are not necessarily of all elven descent, and therefore anything that they do would not necessarily be a direct reflection upon the elven kingdom, and hopefully prevent any further escalations, because the elves have no desire for war to begin with, and they certainly don't have any desire to try and take over the swampland. So the heroes, who are somewhat familiar if you've been watching Vox Machina and any of its major storytelling formats, whether it be on Netflix or, of course, the podcasts with Matt Mercer. I'm just using those guys for the heroes in this case. They would come up to the Elven lands here, and they would have to have a meeting with the High Council, and of course if I can get the focus on there. For some reason, the focus isn't coming in good. Anyways, but that's the queen, as you will, for the Elven lands in this area. I shouldn't say queen, but she's the ruler in this particular area for this outpost, and they'd have to talk with her, and they'd have to garner the trust, learn what the rules are as far as what the elves were looking for, what rules of engagement, and what information the elves are looking to get brought back, and of course what the reward is for doing so, because it's clearly going to be quite dangerous. In the meantime, while they're doing that, there will of course be some small incursions by the lizard folk. But just as they're getting ready to go out and do it, there becomes a big battle where the lizard folk themselves, they bray their horns. Sorry for there we go, for the focus there. It's an old Galaxy S9, so I do the best I can. And a huge, basically a large battle force of lizard folk and crocodiles and stuff come up out of the swamp and just make a large assault against the wall itself, that need to be fought off. And then once that's accomplished, the heroes will have to try and drive in, and they'll discover this piece right here, this strange looking amberisk type rock alien type thing that's emanating, that the lizard folk seem to be worshiping. And the guess is that having never been there before, is what's driving the lizard folk to be so aggressive outside of their own areas. And so they'd have to work their way through the swamps, and see if they could. Once they discover that that's there, they take that information back to the elves. The elves will give them some magic and stuff to try and fight their way back to it again and try and destroy it, without, of course, being overcome by the lizard folk themselves. Once this thing has been destroyed, then the lizard folk just go back to being their normal territorial selves, and the borders become the normal uneasy dispute, the uneasy truce, I should say, as it has been for centuries between them. So that's it. That is the assault of the scaled ones, or the siege of the scaled ones, excuse me. As far as producing it, what this thing is concerned, a lot of different things. So the battle mat underneath, there's two different battle mats. The first battle mat here is the forest battle mat from WizKids, and then next to it is the grasslands battle mat from WizKids. Love these things. They're both 3x5s. Which perfectly fills out my table. And then this piece over here, in order to make the swamp, if you put the angle there, see how it gives like a water-like effect? This is just textured window film that I got on Amazon. You can just go to Amazon and look for textured window film. And these little bubbles and stuff in there are perfect, basically little scaled ripples. And then the light from the sun or your lamps or whatever it is give a little reflected, and it gives a water-like quality to it without actually having water. So that's extremely helpful. And then here on the Lizardfolk side, most of these trees here, all the ones that look like this, are from printable scenery. They are fantastic. Again with the camera, but those are great. I've got a bunch of those from printable scenery. And then I've got a few large bushes here. Those are from, I think it's HeroClix or whatever, not HeroClix, HeroScape. I believe that's what it's from, which is no longer in print, but if you can find them on eBay. And then the vast majority of the rest of this is from Terrainify. These guys right here, all this is from Terrainify. This large piece right here with all the scaling and stuff on it for people to stand on. You can just see the height of it that's there is all from Terrainify. And by the way, I did not flock these or paint them or anything. You can get them unpainted and do all that yourself, or you can have them do it as well as a service. And this is literally what it comes from looking like. This is just an aquarium piece right here, but that's actually the quality of the work that you get from Terrainify. It is amazing. If you're looking for completely done 3D terrain on a whole variety of styles, I mean, they have deserts and they have forests and all kinds of, and winter and stuff like that. They can do a bunch of different styles of terrain, as you can see right here. Again, these little pieces here are not part of the Terrainify, but all the rest of it is. These ones on here, that's part of the Terrainify, all that flocking and stuff. The work that they did here, you can see the painting is really quite fantastic. Highly, highly detailed. Anyone would be happy to put that on the table. So I highly recommend it. And they also have ruins pieces too, with and without moss and other stuff like that, like these sets over here. So I just kind of threw them in. So those are all from Terrainify. Did a fantastic job with those. And then from in here, so the big trees, those three big trees that you see, 1, 2, 3, and then the gazebo type thing in the center. And then these two trees with the walkway between them. And this big ruins of a tree here, which I'm going to circle around this way. Highly, highly detailed stuff. Just looks fantastic for, an upper and a lower level and some ruins and all kinds of fun detail to work with there. All of that and this little archway here. And this broken elvish wall, that's all printable scenery. That's all printable scenery. So highly detailed. They don't come pre-painted or anything. You'd have to paint them up yourself. But those all come highly printed and detailed, or I'm sure you can download the STL files or whatever, but I always just end up purchasing it pre-printed and then have it painted up. That's all printable scenery. And then the multicolored trees, the purple tree and the orange tree and the blue tree and the green tree and the yellow tree, and then there's like reddish ones and stuff. Those are all from Monster Fight Club. If you guys have been following me for a long time, you know I'm a huge Monster Fight Club tree fan. They're just super simple to use, and there's enough variety in there. So it's basically you have two types of tree bases. There's a tall one and a short one. And then there's two different foliage covers, a large one like this and a small one like that. And you can actually double stack them They're designed to go on top of each other so that you can have different heights and varieties of trees. So two different stump sizes, if you will, or trunk sizes, and then two different foliage caps. And then it comes in a number of different colors. It comes in orange and blue and green and purple, I think. I can't remember if it comes in purple or not now, but I know it comes in blue. I had some painted up yellow. I had some painted up a reddish color. Maybe I had it painted purple. I can't remember. You have to go check on monsterfightclub.com though. But they have all different color canopies that you can throw on there. They're just super fast and easy. They're very durable. They don't break or anything like that. So those are great. And then also for Monster Fight Club are these walkways. I don't know, between the trees and the walkways, those are my two. And they have rocks and stuff too, but they're not on this particular build. That are very playable. These walkways are just my favorite. I have been looking so long for cobblestone walkways, and these things are really great. So hopefully they'll expand and they'll have even more variety for the different styles. I think there's like, I don't know, 5 or 6 different shapes for them, and they could probably use like some T-sections and some things like that. Not that you can't, you can't make some, but there's obviously there's a gap for certain areas for T-sections and whatnot. So it might be kind of cool if they advance that someday. But if not, it's all certainly functional, and you can build whatever you want. So that's it. That's the adventure, and that's what it's made of. If you've made it this far, please like and subscribe. We're over 200 videos now. I put out a new video pretty much every single week for a few years now, and every one of them describes a new adventure table. With extremely rare exception. There's a couple talking head videos, but the overwhelming majority of them are all about adventure table design, the story itself, and then along with how I put it together and what makes it tick. So please like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. It really helps out the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. And I will see you guys next adventure. Take care. Bye.